Good day to you and welcome to another Paddocks Club tutorial. Today I'd like to settle on sectional scheme AGM documents, having a look at this because I hope that a number of you are probably involved in this process at the moment as you prepare for the AGM. Let's start by looking at the compulsory agenda items. Firstly, there's the consideration of the financial statement and report. Then there is the approval with or without amendment of schedules of replacement value for insurance purposes and the estimate of income and expenditure prepared by the trustees. There is the appointment of an auditor or an accounting officer, the determination of the number of trustees for the ensuing year, the election of trustees for the ensuing year, any special business of which due notice has been given, the giving of directions or the imposing of restrictions referred to in section 39(1) of the Act, the determination of the body corporate service address, its domicilium secundum et executandi, and the confirmation by the auditor or accounting officer that any amendment to the rules has been properly filed at the deeds registry. Now, this as an agenda for the AGM is not a closed list or the only items of business that owners can consider. It's a list of the items that must be dealt with at the meeting. Other items can and sometimes must be added to this list. Let's have a look at some of the things that go with that notice. Documents that must accompany notice of an AGM. Well, the schedules of replacement value, those have got to be there. The annual financial estimate of income and expenditure prepared by the trustees. The financial statement, annual financial statement, audited if the scheme has an auditor, otherwise confirmed by an accounting officer, and the annual trustees report signed by the chairperson. Those are documents that actually have to physically accompany the notice. But very often it's sensible for additional documentation or information to be sent out with the notice of the AGM. If you're going to have the same auditor and he's prepared to continue to work on the same terms and conditions, that's fine. But if you're going to have a new auditor, a proposal as to one or more new auditors and their quote for the work might be a sensible sort of thing to send out. You might want to send out a nomination form for prospective trustees in the same way as you might want to send out a proxy form. There are no prescribed forms for these, but very often it makes sense to send them out. And then hopefully you then get most of them back in a form that at least you recognize. As far as special business is concerned, there is liability insurance. That is a default 100,000 Rand for injuries occurring in or in connection with the common property. There's fidelity insurance. There's no minimum amount for that, but it makes an incredible amount of sense. Anyone who has access to the body corporate's funds should be covered by fidelity insurance. If the owners have decided that for this scheme there are particular other risks that aren't included in those prescribed, they can in fact tell the trustees to insure against them. Directions or restrictions that might be either traditional in the scheme or that an owner might want to discuss, those should be sent out with the AGM. And confirmation of rule changes, that if a certificate has been received from the auditor or accounting officer, just attach that to the notice of the AGM. Makes life much quicker and more simple. And then lastly, there's the question of whether you or not you want a general. And I'll leave it on that rather contentious point, because some people think this is an open mandate for people to just whine about everything that's gone wrong and make everybody stay for an extra 2 hours. But properly used, a general heading on the AGM agenda can be very useful. I'll leave this for discussion in the discussion forum.